Hello and welcome to the Q1 2022 Storj Town Hall. My name is Ben Golub. I'm the CEO of Storj. Before we get started, a few forward-looking statements. This document contains forward-looking statements about our product direction. The development, release, and timing of any features or functionality described for our products remains at the sole discretion of Storj Labs. The information herein is not a commitment to deliver any material, code, or functionality, and should not be relied upon in making purchase decisions. Welcome to everybody. It's always fun to connect with our community and with our customers at this town hall. We started these town halls several years ago when we had not yet released our V3 service and wanted to make sure that the community understood the progress we were making. Even though V3 has been in production for a couple of years now, and Storj DCS has been in production for over a year, and even though most of the information that is contained in this report can be found real-time, either through the blockchain, through our APIs, through our token reports. We nevertheless enjoyed the opportunity to connect with the community and add a bit of a human element to this discussion. As I mentioned, I'm Ben Golub, Chief Executive Officer. I'll be joined by Catherine Johnson, our Chief People, Legal, and Compliance Officer. I'll be going through a quick executive summary, talking about our roadmap and products. Catherine will be talking about token governance and compliance. And finally, we'll be talking about our community and everything that we're doing to make the community, which has been such a big supporter of ours throughout, continue to stay healthy and continuing to stay profitable. So with that, a quick executive summary. As always, our theme is about accelerating growth with Storj DCS. We have an ongoing commitment to be open. We started with being open source, added openness around our tokens, openness around our governance, released an API to enable people to see our network statistics. We've since added openness around our development initiatives, and you'll hear about how we have open roadmaps available on GitHub, an open issue list. And finally, we've added openness around our carbon footprint and the steps that we are taking to mitigate that footprint. This quarter saw continued growth in customers, partners, usage, and adoption. In fact, our monthly recurring revenue doubled, a key financial metric for us internally, but also as we grow monthly recurring revenue, that of course means increasing payouts to our node operators as well. We've seen success in key Web 2.0 use cases as well as now Web 3.0 use cases, and we're very excited that our product is suitable for both. Massive performance increases, continued world-class performance in terms of Net Promoter Scores. Combination of all of that is that we're seeing growth in Lighthouse customers, in petabyte scale customers, and petabyte usage and egress. This enables us to ensure the long-term success of node operators, and we continue to lead on governance. Also very exciting, in this past quarter, we did our first acquisition, the talented team at CrowdStorage. More information available on our website. Looking forward to Q2. We have several important announcements. In fact, some that were just made on Wednesday regarding IPFS and Web 3.0. We have upcoming announcements related to permanent storage. Continued work on things like small file handling and S3 compatibility to cover an even broader set of enterprise use cases. Since we have essentially delivered everything in our initial white paper, we're going to be providing an update on the small number of things that have changed, as well as the new things we're going to be working on, and continued work on open development, governance, and financial discipline. Comparing 2022 to the start of 2021, very excited and very gratified by all of the growth that we're seeing in the network. The logos are some of our partners who are very important to us. We've also seen growth really across the board: user registrations, customer data, bandwidth, performance, and very excited by the fact that because of our decentralized architecture and because of the investments that we made in bringing DCS to market, we're able to price ourselves 75% less expensive than we were last year, which ends up putting us about 1/20th the price of the cloud scale competitors. Some updates on our product now. While it's exciting to talk about new features and functionality, we continue to maintain that the most important thing we can do is offer an enterprise-grade service, which means offering all of the abilities, all of the durability, availability, security, performance, et cetera, that customers are looking for and that they have a right to expect. Delving into each of these, durability, of course, the important capability of never losing a file. We're very proud of the fact that we have not lost a file in over 3 years from the Alpha 2 of our V3 network. Just to add some proof to that, you can see that we track and report on the health of all of our segments. Any segment that is uploaded to the network is not only encrypted, but is erasure coded. We break the file into 80 pieces, of which any 29 can put it back together. So of course, it's important to make sure that every file always has 29 pieces. And if some number of the 80 of the nodes that the 80 pieces are on go away, then we initiate a repair process. You can see here that we're tracking across the board the median health of all segments and the health of the least healthy 25% and the least healthy segment in our network as a whole. And as you can see, even the least healthy segment in our network rarely drops below 50 pieces. Of course, that is a comfortable buffer away from the 29 pieces that we need to ensure file durability. And in fact, we are increasing our limits so that files continue to maintain a very, very healthy margin of safety, regardless of what happens. Fires, floods, political turmoil, government regulations, we keep your files healthy. Availability, also very important, and also a function of the fact that we are decentralized. So we measure our success in downloading and uploading any object. So if you can sort of think of this as not just that our satellites are alive, but that people are able to successfully download files, similar to how you might feel if you're downloading a Netflix movie and you see it sometime occasionally fail. In our case, for the past several months, we've been running at 100%, which means that even the download attempts are all successful. And our edge services have been running at 99.9 or above. So we're very excited by our availability. Again, this is not just a good operating procedure, but inherent to the fact that we are so decentralized and have no single points of failure. And finally, performance. This is an area where a lot of people are surprised to hear that even though we encrypt and distribute files around the world, that we can be faster. And in fact, we are faster. You'll see here, we measure downloads of 1 gigabyte files and uploads of 1 gigabyte files from not only ourselves, but from folks like Wasabi, Backblaze, and Amazon. And you'll in fact see that now we are that green light. So we are the fastest. We're downloading 1 gigabyte files of all of the large cloud-scale competitors. Put all this together, we not only have pricing that's 1/5 to 1/20th of the large cloud-scale competitors, but the security, privacy, multi-region by default, great performance, great security, great availability, great durability, all of which makes for a very compelling offering for traditional use cases, for the Web 2 use cases. And now we feel that puts us in a very good position to go after the Web 3 use cases. We do have a number of Web 3 customers and have had for a while. There are a number of competitive offerings out there that sort of started with the bells and whistles that are needed for Web 3, things like IPFS pinning, special features for NFTs, et cetera. We very consciously chose to build a rock-solid service first and then add those bells and whistles on top. And we're starting to hear from customers and partners alike that this is the combination that they need. While the bells and whistles are very important, but the files can't be retrieved if the files are lost, if the files aren't secure, it really doesn't help. People are minting or investing in NFTs, for example, that they hope will be worth thousands of dollars one day, really don't want to see that those NFTs are lost to the ether or that they can't be retrieved. So we announced a few days ago our IPFS pinning service, our native crypto integrations, and we will be announcing our solution for permanent and long-term storage as well. But you don't need to take my word for it. In fact, for anything that's coming up or that is being delivered on our product roadmap, you can now see it live on GitHub. There's no difference between what we're showing externally and what we're using internally. This was a conscientious move on our part to make sure that our entire community, our customers, our storage node operators knew what was going on, had the ability to contribute in a meaningful way. And this is not only roadmap items, but issues lists as well. If you go to GitHub, you can see our entire roadmap broken out by quarters, and you can double click and see even finer grain detail on the status of every given project, which ones are on time, which ones are running a little bit late, which ones are running early, and any changes that we're making throughout the course of the year. Major themes for 2022, of course, focus on being enterprise grade, all of the abilities. We have a major emphasis on growing our usage, fit, and revenue within the existing Web 2 use cases, and that includes adding things like additional small file support, additional support for compliant use cases, such as geo-targeting, and additional features and functionality for video. You'll also see us building for the future, the Web 3 use cases, as I mentioned, but also doing the final work that's needed to do to have a robust network of satellites that are not operated by storage itself. This includes community satellites, partner satellites, et cetera. So stay tuned for more information on that. And with that, let me turn things over to Catherine Johnson to talk about token governance and compliance. Catherine?
Thank you, Ben. That takes us to the highlights of our token report, which we do every quarter. We both publish the written report on our website and then also highlight some of the details of that report, which shows the storage token balances and flows each quarter. We have now 3 years of regular quarterly reporting with the reports posted on our blog and the highlights discussed here in the town halls that are available on YouTube. Taking a look back at the activity of the past quarter, you'll see that we used 4.6 million tokens for our operations in Q1. We had 0.3 million of these going to storage node operators, 0.9 million to third-party service providers, 1.9 million in salary and bonus, and this includes the Storage Token Salary Program, which is a voluntary program all team members can participate in. And then we also had a payout for our bonus for 2021 in Q1. We also had 1.5 million storage tokens that were used in other transactions, and this includes the acquisition of Crowd Storage, which was reported on our blog in March. We had 7.2 million in storage operating reserves at the end of the quarter, 214.4 million in long-term 7-quarter rolling time lockups, and then also the 203.5 million in circulation, not in storage as custody, which brings the total, as it always does, to 425 million storage tokens. And then turning next to the long-term lockups, as we do every quarter, we discuss how we do the lockups and any changes. So as previously reported, initially we relocked all of our time lock tokens every 6 months, with each tranche unlocking at the last day of the quarter. Beginning in 2019, we divided the time lock reserve into 8 equal-sized tranches of 30.6 million tokens that unlock in successive quarters and relock respectively to the same quarter 2 years later. So as you can see, last year, every tranche that unlocked at the end of a quarter was relocked until 2023. From time to time, we might decide to leave one unlocked for operations. We did this in 2020, as reported in our written report and in the town hall. We left one tranche that we put into operational reserves, which left 7 of the cryptographically locked rolling tranches at the time. Now, as we reported at the end of 2021, so in our Q4 2021 report, we announced that for the tranche that unlocks at the end of Q1, we're not planning on relocking that one, and we're confirming that in the written report that's being published this week as well. So you'll see in our next report that we'll move those 30.6 million tokens from tranche D, which is represented here on the slide, crossed out. We'll move those into our operational reserves. You'll see that in our next token report, where you'll also see tranche D will no longer be in the list, along with tranche G, which was the one that we left unlocked in 2020. We don't anticipate leaving any other tranches unlocked this year, but consistent with our commitments, of course, we will give at least 60 days notice should we decide to do so. So this relocking is reported every quarter, both here and in the token report on our blog, along with the addresses that are public for anyone to verify. So please visit our website at storj.io for that most recent token flow report. Thanks, and back to you, Ben, to discuss community.
Thanks to our rich community of storage node operators and developers and users. You all make the network work well. Our thanks again for the many community contributions that we've had, for your participation in fireside chats. And thank you all for testing our level 2 payment options. This is a great option for our operators to be able to participate in our network without needing to suffer the time and fees that now are prevalent across Ethereum. And we encourage you to spread the word. We're excited about storage, and we think our best ambassadors are the people who help build and help use our network. Thank you again.